King, here I come. Hello, sports fans, sports collectors, and all hobbyists. Welcome to the Card King Sports and Variety Show. I'm your host, the Catman, Brian Cataquet, a.k.a. the Card King. We are live on ABC's KMET 1490am.com, your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the telephone line, I welcome to the program former Major League Baseball outfielder of the Orioles and White Sox, Rochester Red Wings Hall of Famer. We welcome to the program Royle Stillman. Royle, Brian C., thank you so much for your time this morning.
Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely, Royle. Let's begin. You were drafted by the Dodgers late 1960s, 1969. How did your love for baseball, how did your love for the game first begin for you?
Well, I've been thinking about that. I guess it's just everybody when you do well at something, everybody kind of prods you along and makes sure that you're keep going at it. And that's what happened to me. I just had success at all the levels and started liking all the attention, I suppose.
And you were drafted out of Torrance High School in California, played for the Dodgers farm team, and was involved in that trade, which included Frank Robinson. Do you recall how that key-off trade went about it? Can you speak a little bit about that?
What I remember is I wasn't real happy about the trade. I wanted, because I grew up in Southern California, I wanted to be with the Dodgers. But when I got traded to the Orioles, they welcomed me in. They're a great organization. It's like family. So it was a good transition for me.
And for baseball historians and purists who study the game, Royle, because of that trade deal, it seems that your name will always be linked with the great Frank Robinson. How about that?
That's pretty cool. It's interesting. The older I get, the better I was.
And you played from 1975 to 1978, with the Orioles and White Sox. Why did you decide to only play a few years, Royle?
Well, I really didn't decide. I got released in spring training with the White Sox, and I thought I was in my prime, but they saw it differently. And you know what? I just decided to do something else. I became a carpenter, and very happy, and no regrets.
So do you still have that impulse, Royle, playing baseball? Do you still have that feeling? I bet that feeling never leaves you.
Well, that's interesting because there for a long time after I was out of the game, like 4:30, 5 o'clock, you get the jitters like you normally would in getting ready for the game. So, yeah, it took a while to get that out of the system, but it's always going to be there.
And Royle, who were some of your closest Major League Baseball teammates? Do you still keep in contact with any of them?
I do a few, and some of my best friends. Jim Fuller was an Oriole, and we were teammates for 3 years in Rochester, and then we both went up into the majors in different ways. He went to Houston, and Bobby Grich, and Timmy Nordbrook was a really good friend who was an Oriole there and White Sox with me, but don't really keep in touch with that many old teammates. I'm a member of the Major League Players Alumni, and I get a newsletter. It keeps me kind of up to date on things.
Yeah, and we have to talk about your big honor. You were inducted into the Red Wings Hall of Fame in 2014, which you really joined some prestigious company like Pepper Martin. Can you talk about how was it achieving that honor?
Well, it kind of came as a surprise, and when I got there, I was very shocked that Joe Altobelli, our manager back then, he retired and lives in Rochester, and it was really nice to see him. He had he'd been in baseball 57 years, and it was quite an honor and very nice to see Joe Altobelli again.
Yes, I mentioned you joined some historic company in the Hall of Fame, icons such as Pepper Martin and the 19th century pitcher Bob Barr. I mean, that's something to really be proud of, Royle, to be part of that legacy, you know?
I am honored, and I'm very humbled by it. It's very cool. I didn't realize that it was such a big event until we got there, and then the stadium was full, and they asked me to if I had anything to say, and I really hadn't prepared to talk much or say a speech or do anything like that, but it was really cool, and I can't believe the support the Red Wings and the Orioles have passed along.
And Royle, for our audience who is not familiar with the Red Wings, can you just mention a little bit about the Red Wings? I know they're a minor league organization, correct?
It was the Orioles minor league affiliate, and they're Rochester, New York. They're one of the best minor league stadiums and franchises in baseball, and like a full house every night. It was really a good atmosphere to hone your skills and get ready.
We're talking to Red Wings Hall of Famer Royle Stillman, former Major League Baseball player with the Orioles and White Sox. Royle, me being a baseball card collector, your rookie baseball card was issued in 1976 by Topps. On that baseball card, it pictures, I don't know, you must have seen it. It pictures yourself, Ed Ott, Jerry White, and Merchant. So my question, did you ever collect baseball cards or comic books as a kid?
I used to. I have an older brother, Steve, and we used to collect those cards. We were big Dodger fans who grew up in Southern California, and unfortunately, we put all ours in the spokes of our bicycles and ruined them all.
Yeah, and from, collecting cards, I know 1976 was Brooks Robinson's last year because he issued a 1976 baseball card, of course, the great Baltimore Oriole. Did you ever get a chance to interact with Brooks? Can you talk a little bit about Brooks Robinson, if you had a relationship with Brooks, the great Brooks Robinson?
He was an awesome human being. He was very professional and just like all the other Orioles, very good at what they do. And he was just a very wonderful human being and very courteous, generous, and just a nice man. Don't have enough to say about the guy.
Yeah, so that was 1976, Royle. 77, there was no baseball cards of yourself produced, but in 1978, Topps issued a card of yourself with the White Sox. And I know that 78 White Sox team was led by Bob Lemon, Larry Doby, two big names in baseball. How was your relationship with Lemon and Doby, if you had any?
Well, Bob Lemon was very nice. He was cool. Bill Beck owned and managed the team basically, and Bob Lemon, he was a pretty good guy. I think he managed it the way Bill Beck wanted him to. And Larry Doby, I have a lot of respect for Larry Doby. I didn't realize what a terrific hitter he was until later on in my career when I was reading more about him, and I knew that he had a great career, but he was a great guy, and he understood hitting, and him and I had chemistry because he knew that I knew hitting, and we got along great.
Yeah, and then studying your baseball cards, Royle, 1979, there was a card issue of you in the minor leagues with the Spokane Indians. What can you mention about playing for the Spokane Indians? I believe that was 78, 79, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I think that's right. What happened is I got released in spring training with the White Sox, and we had a great year in 77. We made a run for the pennant and an attendance record, and it was a really cool year, good chemistry on the team. And then the next year, they invited too many people to spring training, and I got released. And I thought I was in my prime, but they saw it a little different. And it's just, there's not a whole lot I can say about it. It's just the way it fell out.
Yeah, and I do know also from being in the sports memorabilia business that you've always been generous with your signatures. Do you still get requests to sign autographs via the mail? Do you still enjoy signing autographs, Royle?
I really do, and it cracks me up because I get 3, 4, sometimes more cards a week, and I guess baseball card collecting is kind of resurging and getting popular again, but it cracks me up because people send cool little stories and letters about things they recall about me in those times, and it's pretty interesting and fun to relive it.
Yeah, so I have to ask you, Royle, so what has Royle Stillman been up to the last 20 years? You mentioned you're a carpenter by trade. How did you get involved in carpentry?
Well, I had a couple friends that I grew up in Southern Cal, like I said, and they were builders and ended up just kind of being a natural position for me because I was good at with my hands and skills, I guess. Anyway, it just evolved and got married and had 3 beautiful daughters and no complaining.
Now, Royle, do you have your own business as far as carpentry is concerned? How do people get in contact with you?
No, I network with a group of people that I've been working with for 25 years, and basically I'm phasing out. I'm almost retired. I kind of retired last year, but got busy again, and it's time for me to retire.
And Royle, that '78 White Sox team, it had some really decent players. Wilbur Wood. You have a relationship with Wilbur Wood?
I did. He was, he was an old timer that just went out there and gave it his best. And I can't really recall any highlights about Wilbur Wood, just that he really impressed me with his fortitude and the way he got prepared for the game. And the White Sox were a good outfit and they had some great hitters, and it was a fun team to be on.
Yeah, and also Chet Lemon, Bobby Bonds. Any words you could say about those two?
Yeah, they were terrific athletes, and the whole lineup was solid with good hitting, and Larry Doby was key to that. And there's just a lot of talent that it was fun because Bob Lemon used a lot of players, and he rotated everybody in, trying to get everybody in the game that he could, and I thought he did a pretty good job.
Yeah, and just just a couple more questions. Reading your history, you had an outstanding season at Rochester. You finally got into the big leagues September of the late '70s. 13 games for the Orioles. You went 6 for 14, averaging an average of 429 and driving in 1 run. Signed by the Dodgers in '69. So, I mean, you really struck eyes in Major League Baseball during the late '70s.
Well, I happy to say I hit 400 in the Major League.
Yeah. I mean, so how many people can say that?
Well,
so do you still follow baseball, Royle? What do you think of this with this crazy pandemic? I know baseball is planning to come back. I believe 60-game season or something like that. Do you still follow the game of baseball?
I do. I live in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. We're about 2 hours out of Denver. So we're Rocky fans now, and we like to go down and check it out. It's always fun and great to be at the park. It's a different time now with this pandemic and no baseball. It's just real different, and we kind of all miss it.
Yeah, I just don't know how they're going to get this season up and running. I mean, who knows who tests positive? I mean, if the whole team, God forbid, tests positive, I would think they're going to have to shut it down. So it's really a tricky situation.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of it's scary because you really don't know what you're dealing with, and we're just keeping the faith, and hopefully it'll all blow over.
Yeah. So talk a little bit if you like about your family. You said you have a daughter. The family's very close. Family's doing well.
Family's real close. I have 3 daughters, and we all live in Glenwood Springs. My youngest lives in Denver, but they're all young adults now, and we're pretty close. Small family, and it's great,
And you're feeling okay. You're feeling healthy, and everything's okay for you.
I feel like I'm real strong and good. Nothing hurts, and I'm very fortunate that nothing hurts.
Yeah. No. So I really appreciate your time. And do you have any final words for the audience? How can people reach out to you? I know. Do you still sign by mail?
I do. I get requests all the time, and people send me little stories and letters. It's really cool, and I have a friend in Southern California, Palos Verdes, Jim Batches. I wanted to wish Jim the best. He's a great friend. He's having a little battle with cancer. Just wanted to send up a prayer for him and wish him well. And wanted to mention him because we're keeping contact a lot and we're good friends.
And this show does air in Southern California, so we wish Jim well. And any final words before we say goodbye?
Well, I appreciate your time and your interest in me, and it's been an honor to chat with you about the Orioles and the baseball, and thank you.
Yeah, well, it's an honor for me, Royle. You're a major league former ball player, newest member of the minor league Hall of Fame. So it is an honor for me and for my audience to hear you. This is a baseball, show, baseball memorabilia show. So you fit right in, and you did a perfect job today.
Well, thank you. It's really a privilege and an honor to be a Major League Baseball player because people regard you as something special, and it's fun having respect and just people paying attention to you. It's really nice, and it's kind of a short-lived thing, but I hope all the other players out there that are playing now understand all that.
Yeah, well, now that you mentioned that, Royle, because I played a little bit college baseball, a scout once told me that to make it to the major leagues, it's like getting hit by lightning. It's so rare. So it's really a rare opportunity to even get drafted or even play for a professional Major League Baseball team, something that you did. So it's that difficult.
Yeah, I just have to be in the right place at the right time and do well at every level. That was kind of how it worked for me.
And you grew up in Santa Monica, right?
I grew up in Torrance. I was born in Santa Monica.
You were born in Santa Monica. Yeah, so yeah. So this show fits right in, Southern California radio show, and we're happy to have you on. And if you want to, and anytime you're welcome to come on, just send me an email and we'll get you on. All right, Royle?
Okay, I appreciate it, and thank you. Nice talking to you.
Nice talking to you, Royle. Take care of yourself. Be safe.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was a former Major League ball player of the Orioles, White Sox, Royle Stillman. And just for the collecting audience, let's mention a few of Royle Stillman's baseball cards that were issued through the years. Okay, so his rookie card, as we mentioned on the program, was issued in 1976 by the Topps Company. He's pictured on that baseball card, 76 Topps, with 3 other players. Two minor league cards that were issued of Royle was issued in 76 by SSPC. That's the company, the trading card company, SSPC, and its original founder was on this program a while back, Mike Arenstein, who was instrumental in producing that issue. So Royle Stillman, you can find him on a 76 SSPC card. You can also find Royle Stillman for collectors out there, as we mentioned on the program, on a 1979 Pacific Coast League TCMA baseball card, which pictures Royle Stillman in a Spokane uniform. And as I mentioned, 76, you will find a card of Royle as an Oriole. 77, Topps did not produce a card of Royle. But in 78, Topps did produce a 1978 card of Royle Stillman with a White Sox uniform. So, that's just those are just interesting card facts to know about the guest we just had on, Royle Stillman. And as we mentioned, newest member of the Minor League Hall of Fame, and he joined some prestigious company, the great Pepper Martin, and the 19th century baseball pitcher, Barr. So he joined some prestigious company. Now, next week, I will be off for July 4th. So I want to wish everyone a July 4th happy holiday season and a safe season. And filling in for me next Saturday will be Dr. Paul Sem, editor-in-chief of StartSpreadingTheNews.blog. He will have the seat next week. He will be filling in for me. He will have a guest. So, I want everyone to tune into that program, and you can catch that Dr. Paul Sem's popular blog, StartSpreadingTheNews.blog, which will give you highlights of for you Yankee fans, Yankee collectors on the East Coast listening to this program. It's a great blog. I know Dr. Paul just enhanced that blog, and it looks spectacular. And he did a great article on this show a couple of weeks ago. So if you missed that article, he did a great article. He interviewed me, and we spoke about this program. And we spoke a little bit about my career, and that came out a couple of weeks ago on StartSpreadingTheNews.blog. So Dr. Paul Sem will be filling in for me next week. And just a quick hobby note to worth mentioning. A couple of weeks ago, National Bobblehead Museum and Hall of Fame publicly announced that they have released a Negro Leagues Legends Centennial baseball card set. This happened a few weeks ago. The museum made it in collaboration with the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum in Kansas City and with the Hall of Fame. And each card set comes with a mystery bobblehead. So that's just some information. And you can check out the museum's website at store.bobbleheadhall.com under products, Negro Leagues cards, and each bobblehead comes with a baseball card of a fantastic Negro League ball player. Satchel Paige is in that set. And of course, for collectors out there listening to the program, bobbleheads are so popular, and you can just look online on eBay and see some of the prices that are selling for bobbleheads this past week. I mean, June 22nd auction, there was a 1960s Houston Colts 45 bobbleheads, which are also known as knotters. And, for everyone knows what a bobblehead is. They have the figurines with the big heads and the springs that you could bang their heads, and they wobble up and down. So these bobbleheads are a big collector's item, and some of these bobbleheads on eBay draw big prices in the $200 range. So it's really an interesting collectible to to go after. And, I want to wish everyone a happy holiday next week, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Happy collecting to all.